Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala walks us through stories of the past, the knowledge of which could not be known without revelation. And these stories were not from one time or one era, they were from different times. And they weren't from one community, they were from across the world. But all of this knowledge gathers in one Quran revealed by one Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal says in verse number 107, "Indeed, those who believe and do good will have gardens of paradise as an accommodation." The foundation of Jannah is built on Iman and A'mal Salihah. Continue to believe in Allah, and every day bring those good deeds into your life. Those deeds that were taught to us in the pages of the Quran, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam very carefully left behind for us. Not just an idea, very real, hard, objective, tangible actions. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَانَتْ لَهُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions that for them there was paradise. Kanat puts the paradise that awaits them in the past. That this is a true promise from Allah, and it's as if it's already yours. Believe in Allah. Be sincere. Stand in front of Allah. Raise your hands before Allah. Call out to Allah with your tongue and your heart. Your Jannah already awaits you. Allah Azza wa Jal then says, كَانَتْ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ نُزُلًا, with the emphasis on the lam. Some of the ulama, they say, this lam is called lamul istihqaq, meaning that this lam emphasizes that you are now worthy of this paradise. You've earned it. You've put hard work into it. The reality is, our deeds can never take us to Jannah. What takes us to Jannah is our obedience and the pleasure of Allah that the obedience results in. The sacrifice that goes into it, that is a testimony. It's proof that this person really believes in Allah Azza wa Jalla. This person loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا لَا يَبْغُونَ عَنْهَا حِوَلًا. They will remain therein forever, never desiring anywhere else. لا يبغون عنها حولا. Jannah is permanent. It will satisfy them to no limit. There's no way of understanding the satisfaction the insan will receive, and a reminder that this dunya cannot provide that. The material promise of satisfaction is a lie. When a person reaches Jannah, there won't even be a fleeting thought of maybe I should go somewhere else. Maybe I can leave this home and go to another home. When you buy a home, a year later, you're thinking that guy has a better home. You buy a car, 6 months later, I could have got the upgraded version, the better tires, the better interior, could have upgraded the sound. We're always thinking of what's next. لا يبغون عنها حولا. They will not desire to turn anywhere. They won't want to go anywhere because all the desires of your heart will be there for you. لكم فيها ما تشتهيه الأنفس وتلذ الأعين وأنتم فيها خالدون. Everything that your heart and your desire wants, Allah Azza wa Jalla will provide there. قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحْرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي. Say, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if the whole ocean were ink for writing the words of my Lord, لَنَفِدَ الْبَحْرُ قَبْلَ أَن تَنْفَدَ كَلِمَاتُ رَبِّي. The oceans would run out, they would run dry before those words were complete and exhausted. A person could never truly understand the ilm, hikmah, wisdom, favors of Allah. We can write a few pages, a few lines of poetry. But any person that has walked on this path to truly understand the greatness of Allah has come short. There's too much here. Where does a person talk about ishq that we barely even scratch the surface of? How does a person understand the knowledge of Allah when we struggle with remembering 5 formulas from our biology or chemistry class? The insan who knows so little in one domain, one subject matter, one area, one time of life, how can he understand the knowledge and the greatness, the wisdom, the favors of Allah that span throughout the existence of this timeline and wherever else there are creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The story of every grain of sand is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every leaf on every tree and every insect, discovered or undiscovered, is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The human phenomenon and everything that's within the human body, from that which the microscopes see and that which the human eye can see in its naked form, this is all known by Allah. So a person asks, how do I know Allah exists? Because it's so much more natural. It's easier to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any person with intellect can look at this world and see that this is a creation through design. There was a being that created this. This was not in coincidence. Allah Azza wa Jal very beautifully, He says, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. Either you believe you were created from nothing. Run the probability, this is all chance. And any mathematician will tell you the probability is stacked against you. أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ, or you're created yourself. If nothing created you, that means maybe you created yourself or someone else created you. Go ask your mother, did you create me? Go ask your father, did you create me? Go ask yourself. Look in the mirror, did I create myself? And the answer to all of this will be no. And then if you answer anything about yourself, then Allah has another question. أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Okay, maybe you believe you created yourself, fool. But then tell me, who created the heavens and the earth? What formula did you use there? What did you mix? What scaffolding did you use? What kind of gun did you use to shoot these clouds into the sky? Who created the wind? أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بَلْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. Okay. أَمْ عِنْدَهُمْ خَزَائِنُ رَبِّكَ أَمْ هُمُ الْمُسَيْطِرُونَ. Then tell me about the treasures of your Lord. All the sustenance Allah provides. Who created that? أَمْ لَهُمْ سُلَّمٌ يَسْتَمِعُونَ فِيهِ. Do you have some sort of a bridge or a staircase that takes you to the heavens and you can hear what's happening in the conversations between the malaika and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree? No, nothing. If you look at all of it at the end, the insan has done nothing. The insan does nothing. Yet the arrogance, yet the claims made by the human being are so grand, they're so great and big. قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ الْبَحْرُ مِدَادًا لِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّي لَنَفِدَ الْبَحْرُ قَبْلَ أَن تَنْفَدَ كَلِمَاتُ رَبِّي وَلَوْ جِئْنَا بِمِثْلِهِ مَدَدًا. Not just one set of oceans, we will replace them again and again and again. And you still would never be able to truly understand the greatness of your Allah. Let that in itself create humility in you. That is enough. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us in another verse that وَلَوْ أَنَّ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to turn all the trees into pens and all the oceans were to turn into ink, and you try to write and count the favors of Allah, مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ. There is no way to encompass those statements, those words, those decrees, those blessings, those bounties, that knowledge of Allah. Never. Humility. Seek knowledge. Seek your Allah. Look for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heavens and the earth, but be okay with falling short. Understand that's what we do as human beings. We do our best and then we fall short. The failures are a part of our experience. The victories are a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We accomplish some days and we fall short the other days. And then in the final verse of this surah, because there's a question. A person may ask that if we can never truly understand our Allah in all of His dimensions and all of His existence and His essence, if it can never be understood, if the blessings of Allah can never be comprehended, then what's the point of all of this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next verse clarifies this. The only way to understand your Lord, yuha ilay. It's through revelation. You only know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up of Himself to you. Shaykh Abul Hasan Ali al-Nadwi rahmatullahi alayhi, commenting on this, he says, the vastness of the universe and the multitude of its creation raise a fundamental question. If the words of Allah are so vast that all the trees in the world could not serve as pens and all the oceans as ink, and if understanding all that is beyond human capacity, intellect, and knowledge, then how can we know our Creator, His attributes and signs, solve the enigma of life, and find the path to happiness and salvation. And why was one prophet chosen over another if all are human, with limited minds and knowledge? The Quran provides the answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Say, I am only a human being like you. It is revealed to me that your Lord is one and only one Allah. The secret behind this privilege and distinction, what makes the prophets special, what gives them the ability to even attempt to answer this unsolvable reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. The source of true knowledge without which humanity cannot find happiness is wahi and revelation. That's what it all comes down to. Had it not been for this gift from Allah to the ummah, we would have been eternally lost, perpetually roaming the desert, yatihuna fil ard, with nowhere to exit. What would the insan do? From one zina to the next, from one khamar to the next, from one sariqah to the next, just fulfilling desires and roaming in this world without any clarity at all. It's through this revelation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He clarifies again, for those that came with the question, that you asked the Prophet seeking the answers and you thought he was going to give them all at once, but the answers came later. He didn't say, inshallah, that was his moment of learning, but for you, you should have learned that he is not but a human being. He is not a God. He is our messenger. And if he was faking it, if he was false in his claim, when you demanded the answers, he would have provided them. True or false, he would have just said. What way would you have of verifying this? How would you find the details? Someone could, retrospectively fabricate the information. But no. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. The Prophet of Allah is reminded, so that this message remains sealed in the minds and hearts of Muslims until the end of times. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. I am a human like you. Not a son of God, not a part of God. Not created a part of the light of God. A human being, guided by revelation. This is what makes prophets special. This is what makes them unique. They are selected by Allah. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I am only a human being like you. أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Who has revealed to me that your Lord is one Allah. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ. So, O Muslims, O believers of Allah, O creation of Allah, those who look forward to meeting their Creator, the one that gave you the soul that roams in your body and lies somewhere in your heart. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ. Whoever hopes to meet his Lord, whoever anticipates and looks forward to that day standing before the Creator of this universe, فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Stay committed to your good deeds. Stay humble. Be disciplined. Be consistent. وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. And never let anything, anyone, any idea, any philosophy, any political worldview be a partner with Allah. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. It's with this belief that even the Dajjal cannot break the insan. No fitna will break you. No technology will harm you. No kafir, no mushrik, no enemy of Allah can lay a finger on you. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Therefore, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught the companions, read Surah al Kahf every week. You will be protected from the Dajjal. And if you are protected from the Dajjal, inshallah, Allah will protect us all from the fitnas that lie ahead of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us, grant us tawfiq, and allow us to truly understand the Quran and make us from the companions of the Quran. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just as a last reminder, we've been saying this many times, Sadaqat al-Fitr distribution, for those of you who haven't given, we're actually distributing right now in the side hall. So if you have not given your Sadaqat al-Fitr, please do put it into the sadaqah box so we can distribute it. May Allah elevate you all and reward you. Assalamu alaikum. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم كدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشاء عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين. إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الجحيم انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا